Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. Here we are again. Often I have been insisting, learn to be natural. We should be natural, naturally natural. But unfortunately, we have learned not to be natural. And then in that context often comes the question how to deal with negative energies. Somebody goes in one place and feels there is an unpleasant energy. How to deal with it? How to block it? And then I tell you, be natural. We cannot continuously go through our life blocking, fighting with all the energies that are there. There are very positive energies, supportive energies. And there are energies that are just unfavorable. But if we try to shield them off, if we try to fight them off, if we are always at war with them, then it's a continuous struggle. Be natural. What does that mean? It means that we learn to let go. That's why I'm always insisting on relaxing. Learn to be in the present. Center your attention here now and relax. And that is the best way to be natural. And the more we are capable to do so, the more powerfully our manifestation, the more of our inherent power is flowing through this instrument into this story. And when that is there, the negative energies, they still are there, but they are already getting filtered by the aura that is around us. And if we relax, if we don't make a shield, if we don't fight with them, then they simply go through. Somebody not so long ago asked me, but sadhana means, okay, purifying, but then at the same time we have to build up power. And it feels like that. In a way it's true, but it is not that we have to somehow get the power from somewhere and build up and keep it in a store. It's more that we become aware how powerful we already are. What the tremendous power is at the back, at the base of this manifestation. And although the personal experience may seem like we are building up power and becoming more and more powerful, the fact is that we are more and more becoming aware what the tremendous energy, a benevolent energy, a creative, beautiful energy is already there. And in course of the process, while doing sadhana, while practicing, we become aware how much we are preventing it, how much obstacles we are putting in the way of the free natural flow of that, and we learn to let them go. We learn to not do that anymore. And then it feels like one is becoming more and more powerful, but it's more that inherent power that is there, that benevolent energy. has a chance to simply flow through this manifestation, benefiting first the one through which it is flowing, but then benefiting everybody that is around it. And everybody who connects with such an individual, even if physically we are on the other side of the world. And to be capable of let that natural power simply flow means to become more natural. Not to struggle, not to grind our teeth and think, "Oh, I have to be strong, strong." Sometimes for a little moment in certain situations that may be justified, but generally, basically, learn to relax. And to become more powerful simply means the increasing capacity to center and to relax even in tense situations. Even if we come to a place where there is a lot of negativity, that we are not trying to desperately fight them off, but learn to center and relax and be consciously conscious, rooted in our own essence. And the more we can do that, the more we are natural, the more we are manifesting in a beautiful, powerful way. And if we struggle always with the energies around, then we also blocking out partially at least those energies that are very benevolent in creation. They are also there and they are supportive. They're always with us also. And the more we are natural, the more we are simply inviting them because they love it. If there is harmony, if there is a conscious connection to the essence, it's like it's attracting all the good forces of the universe to come and join in and rejoice in the event. That's why I keep on insisting, learn to relax, learn to be natural. We can have our spiritual ideas, our spiritual goals, but it's not something that we have to achieve through hard labor. It may be hard labor sometimes if the mind is very tense and very distracted and full of contradictions, but it's not that we are achieving then something, it's simply be becoming aware how much we are standing in the way of being natural and learn to let it go. And especially now, there is so much negativity going on in the world in manifestation. You're confronting negative, unfavorable energies a lot. And then people who inform themselves, who have an idea what is going on, they may get desperate. How is it possible to continue? What can we do in such a situation? And what we can do is learn to let go, learn to relax, learn to be natural and radiate. That's our job in this crazy situation, to shine like lights in the darkness that makes our own life beautiful and joyous and lightful. And actually, it's the greatest thing one can do for the whole rest of the manifestation. I've been talking about this a lot, but it's something so important that I'm not tired of talking about it again and again. It's good to tell oneself again and again, yes, just come home, be here, be now, center, relax, be natural. Okay, my friends, now I'm inviting you. If there is anyone who would like to say something, you are welcome to do so. Hello, Dial. I can see you talking, but I didn't hear anything. I still don't hear you. I see that you turn on and off your microphone, but I still don't hear you. As, uh, was it in my place, or has anybody else heard Dial talking?
Hi, Werner. It was also on my side.
You couldn't hear him, huh?
No, I couldn't.
Okay. Hello, Maxime. Okay, now I see somebody came in. Oh, no. Julian Mugi, did you try to come in, or you just joined the satsang item?
No, yes, Werner. Hi, I'm Julian, and I was just answering that it's not on your side.
Oh, I see. Then
regarding Mikhail.
Yeah. Oh, hello. Yeah, thank you.
Hello.
Because simultaneously, it seems Maxim has tried. Dial, you try again?
So can you hear me now?
Hello, yes, Werner? I can hear you perfectly well.
Yeah, I have some problem with my phone.
Yes.
So I want to ask you a philosophical question. I come across into discussion in the internet about what is happening when the universe will be collapsed. So it described in some Hindu scriptures that after many years, the universe will destroy it. And what is happening with souls, what was living that moment? Some scriptures speak that the soul is not destructible, and all whatever karma we have, we will reincarnate in another world. But some other scriptures speak that if this pralaya, they call it pralaya, that universe will destroy it totally. Then somebody said the souls, some souls disappear. Somebody said the karma of some souls will disappear, and new cycle they will come back like from zero, just awareness. So do you know anything about such theoretical stuff?
The big pralaya. Yes, the Hindu scriptures tell like tell like this. It's like the heart beating more. For some time, the creation comes into existence, expands, and then whoop, withdraws again. Except that a heartbeat like this takes billions and billions of years. It's not just right in front of our door. So if you ask me what I do know about it, I don't know.
But
But
they're talking about physical universe or totally all the subtle words.
yes, I don't think that there is ever a time when there is absolutely no creation, but there is certain creations that come into existence and withdraw. And at the same time with this universe, there are many, many other universes too. And they are not all disappearing simultaneously. Now,
So
this is totally, as you said, a philosophical question. Practically, we don't really need to be concerned whether our karma at the end of the creation at the pralaya disappears. Let's deal with our karma today. And how we are dealing with our karma today is that we are learning to detach from it and become aware that you, as a being, you don't really have any karma. It's just the manifestation that has karma. You use the expression soul, and that's a tricky word because people use it differently. Different people mean different things with soul. That's usually why I'm not using the word, because if I say talk about the soul, everybody understands something different about it. But you are a divine being. You come out of that one divinity. As a being, you are never apart from it. You are ever all one, connected with it, and there is no karma in that being. Then the being is projecting itself into a creation and projects certain aspects with it and certain tasks, and that actually is the karma law that is already there when a being is manifesting in a creation. Then the way we are dealing with our day-to-day life with all the situations is also either slowly diffusing that karma or adding more karma. But karma is entirely connected with manifestation. Prior to manifestation, there is no karma. Karma simply means the cause and effect. Everything that is in creation, every action has an effect, and that is the karma. But if you bring your attention back to your essence, you are prior to manifestation, and for you, in reality, here, now, there, in your true being, there is no karma in the beginning, no karma now, and no karma in the end. So after prahlaya, there is also no karma. Whether your being is then intending to project again into other universe or not, it's up absolutely that being's free choice to do so.
Werner, this discussion was about practice or no practice, and the person who speaking that all your efforts, all your karma will be burned up when pralaya is happening, he is speaking that no need to practice anything, and your all our actions has no meaning after pralaya. In this sense, you confirm that no sense to do anything.
Well, what he is basically saying, you don't just have to work a few billion years and then everything is fine.
Yes.
But if you are tired of waiting for a long time, you better take care of it now.
It's okay, but even a few billions years, somebody will hop and do nothing.
Yes, if they feel like so, let them do so. Eventually, they may get tired of that. But if somebody is happy with that thought, then I tell him, yeah, I wish you well, then be happy. But if somebody feels I really want to become aware of what I am and not just be sort of a victim flushed along in the current of events, that I want to become aware of my own birthright, of my own divinity, then it's better to learn to direct the attention back to the source. And that is what practice is.
Yeah, correct. But still, about pralaya, that does it means that karma can burn up? Our action will have no reaction after a few billions years. How it is possible?
It is still, even now, I said, there is not really any karma for your true being. And as long as there is a projection within a manifestation, then that law of cause and effect is there. When that projection is withdrawn, then there may be an evaluation about certain actions, the lessons learned and not learned, and the decision. Maybe some lessons need to be learned, and a new projection is there. But it's not like a punishment for bad things. You will be punished in a future life. It's much more beautiful and creative than that. So
But still,
don't worry about the karma. Be consciously now, and every time you bring your attention to the timelessness of the present, you are stepping out of karma.
yes, I understand you, Werner, but still, when argumenting with such people who try to explain that no need to do any effort, then I want to argument it back so that karma will continue. If you do nothing, you will get nothing, or that action you will get even after this life. You will get bad results. What I would like to hear from you.
So I see. You want me to give some ammunition for your next discussion, some arguments. Frankly, if somebody is convinced like this, then I would not argue with them. Then I will tell them, okay, if you are satisfied that okay, that you just flow along and you are happy with it, then I wish you happiness. If you feel like this, then leave. What you are feeling is right. If eventually you get tired of it, then maybe you may reconsider. But you don't have to defeat him in the discussion that he is wrong. So if he wants to believe like this, because it gives him an excuse of not making efforts, then I guess he has to go his life his way and experience more and more, and maybe in course of the process he gets a bit tired of being always a victim of the circumstances.
Yeah, okay, but I agree he have the right to do whatever he want. But if he spreading such wrong information around, and new people just happy that we can do nothing, maybe it's worth to argument it back.
Let him be happy if he feels he can do nothing, if he's happy. But then when the circumstances are not so favorable, usually those philosophies disappear and people are very unhappy. And the one who is practicing has the advantage that also when the circumstances are hard, if we have trained ourselves not to be then as at the mercy of the circumstances, but do that which I said in the beginning, learn to be natural, learn to connect, learn to center and relax even in tense situation. The one who is practicing will not suffer even in our circumstances, whereas the other one who just makes this kind of philosophies most probably will totally be taken in by what is happening and suffer hell for it.
Okay, I see. Thank
You
you.
can tell him if he is tired of suffering, then maybe he will start to practice.
Okay. Okay, Werner. Hari Om. Thank you.
You're welcome. In ancient times in India, it was very much functioning like this. Sadhus, great swamis would go around and they would challenge the local sadhus or local scholars for a debate. And then debating, and the winner would somehow be the one who is right. Even Shankaracharya, he went around and then he debated with those who later became his disciples. But somehow it's not the time to do so. The spiritual discussions are fine if there is anything constructive coming out that we can use, that is inspiring to help us to deal with ourselves, to deal with our difficulties, to deal with the day-to-day life in order to become more consciously connected. But we don't have to discuss to prove that I'm right, you're wrong. And what I just said, if somebody is arguing like this, then actually it is a bit an excuse for, okay, why should I make any effort? In the end, everything is leveling out, and it's true. Sadhana is for those who are fed up with suffering. And as long as we are identifying with a personality, as long as we are building up resistance, many times something happens and we are all resistance. Instead of accepting the situation and making the best out of it, there is so much resistance, and that resistance is causing that mental anguish, which I call suffering. I mean, that's what I mean with suffering. Many people suffer bad circumstances. Okay, they are having a hard time. But what I really call suffering is that mental anguish that we are creating by resisting the circumstances, resisting to accept the experience is as it is. That doesn't mean we are weak and we are a victim. Okay, it is as it is, but I can bring my creative, constructive energy into it and make the best out of the situation. And if you live like this in acceptance, then the suffering gradually disappears. We still will face sometimes nice circumstances. We will face adverse circumstances. As long as we are living in this world, that's what is happening. But if we learn to be in touch with our essence, learn to relax and not fight with the fact of the experience, but accept the experience and then enrich the experience by bringing out or bringing into the situation our own creative energy, then suffering disappears, even in adverse circumstances. And if somebody argues that there is absolutely no point in making any effort or doing any practice because anyhow you are that and eventually everything is leveling out, okay, if that makes them happy to believe like this, that is fine. I'm not trying to dissuade anybody who is doing that, but then life may come and slowly dissuade them because they may find themselves suffering again and again. And the spiritual path practice is for those who really start to get fed up with suffering. I've had it. I had enough. I don't want to suffer. I need not to suffer. It's not natural. And for that, the efforts are not to really achieve something new, but to become acutely aware what is going on and then learn to let those things go that create pain and suffering unnecessarily. All right, I'm asking you, my friends, is there anyone who would like to come in?
Hello.
Hello, Andreas.
Do you have any, I mean, it's a very mild kind of suffering, but for example, when I go to India, I'm always getting a little tense because I don't like the crowds and I don't like the noise. And I mean, do you have any advice apart from center and relax, or in addition to that?
Okay, the next time you come to India, you really already visualize the fact, okay, I'm going to India, it's going to be noisy often, and often I'm finding myself in a crowd. Nobody asks you that you have to now artificially start to like it. But then when you go there, you can go with the attitude, okay, that aspect is there, but so what? Accept that is there. Stop resisting in your mind that it is so. And then already half of the sting is gone. But if it's happening and there you feel, oh, there I am again, oh, it's, it's no good, then we are making it much worse. If you come knowing, okay, that's the kind of thing that I will confront. So then let me confront it without resisting the fact that it is so. Because you go to India and you know it's so, then better accept. You will find also those aspects in India that you don't like. It has also the other aspects, otherwise you wouldn't come. But then you have to accept the whole package as it is. And if you don't resist, then it's not making you suffer. Then, okay, there is some discomfort sometimes, so what? Never mind. It's a good challenge to observe myself, to go deeper in my own resources, to learn, to grow.
Yeah, sometimes I just get aware of how neurotic I am. Like I had last week I was in holiday in the Netherlands, and there was a very nice national park, and I was cycling around there or walking around there, and sometimes I just observed my thoughts and realized like, okay, I'm not really, yeah, I'm making myself more complicated, or the situation is just, I mean, I'm not really relaxing because I'm constantly caught up in my head with some little worries and concerns and thinking, and it's very difficult to become just natural and be there and relax.
Yes, it's not very pleasant to become aware of that. To have a real good, honest look at oneself is often not the most pleasant experience, because then we become aware of exactly what you have been describing now, that we are creating our problems ourselves all the time with that mental activity that most of the time is totally unnecessary. But this is the first step. And then when we become aware that we are doing that, with the increasing awareness of the nonsense of it all, we learn to detach and we learn to redirect the attention and not feed those traits that keep on doing that again and again. And then gradually that habit is getting weaker and it's reducing. That's the path.
Yeah, it's getting better over time, but it's very slowly.
Better slowly than not at all.
Yeah, I think it really helps to center and consciously try to relax. But sometimes I just want to bang my head and say, stop.
Right. Sometimes it feels like this. Why it's going on? And you see the mind going round and round certain things, and you say, nonsense, stop. And it just goes on in spite of that. And there it's better to learn exactly to do that, not to fight with it. Be aware, accept that also as part of the experience that these thoughts are there, but then read instead of getting emotionally built up and hook into it, redirect the attention to your body sensations, to your breath, and consciously relax. And then we are not feeding that kind of thought. At least, even if they are not immediately disappearing, at least we are not feeding them that they are getting bigger and stronger and go on and on and on.
Yeah.
The alertness is necessary, that we are at all aware that this is happening. Most of the people have not even a clue that they are always thinking so much and always creating their problems in their life with their thoughts all the time. So it's very good if we become aware, even if it's not so pleasant to see what we are really doing in our head. When we start to honestly look at ourselves, often it seems to be desperate and think, my God, what kind of nonsense goes on in my head? But it's good to become aware, and that feeling of yuck is already basically a step to detach from it. Just don't let that pull you down into feeling depressed because of it. Okay, it's there, so some more work is needed. And by fighting with it, trying to control it, screaming at it to stop, it will stop for a moment and there it goes again. It doesn't work that way. It's to see it, be aware, okay, it's part of the experience. It's an object, actually. But redirect the attention to being consciously conscious by, for example, breathing consciously, feeling your body sensations, relax in it. Consciously again and again, redirect the attention, and then those traits of thoughts gradually start to calm down by themselves, but because they have no food. But if we are getting interested in them and emotional about them, then we are also feeding them.
I'm not completely clear about the step that you always say when you say like turn the attention around. I mean, I can focus on now I focus on my lips most of the times, and then it goes to my breathing and try to relax. But is there any additional thing?
If you do that and really relax, then the attention is sinking gradually deeper all by itself. No particular steps are needed.
Okay. I just have to laugh because probably I asked you this already 10 times.
Doesn't matter. Every time it goes a bit deeper inside. Fine,
Okay.
huh? Okay. Hari Om. Hari Om. I see a video on. Is it Ben? Yes, I think so. Ben, are you trying to say something? I don't hear you either, like before. Dial. The glasses, because you're still small. Yes, it's Ben. You're not connecting on audio. I see that on Zoom your microphone is on, but somewhere on your side it's not happening.
What about now?
Ah, now, yes, I hear you.
Oh, okay, great. Sorry about that. My headphones are, yeah, making things not work.
Yeah.
Hello, Werner. Hello, everyone. I was just, it gave me some thoughts, the current discussion about intention, and what would be your thoughts on setting intentions, visualizing what we might think we want for the future, and using that as if there is some kind of resistance with the present situation and we would like it to be different, how useful is to focus on that intention as opposed to just observing the resistance and just simply trying to be at peace with the current situation without imagining a better situation.
Right. The first step is definitely best that we take care of the present experience. There, what is happening, and deal with our emotional reactions. But we have that possibility to give constructive intent into the current. And that contributes that our personal situation or the global situation may improve. But don't do it with obsession. Deal mainly with the present experience and bring yourself to that state of naturalness, of being in harmony, of being balanced, of being at ease, at peace now. And from that position, we can give very constructive intents in the current and then leave it in the hands of God or the universe, how much of it that will manifest. If we get obsessed with it and I want, then again we bring also something very personal, negative into it.
Yeah.
But intents that are not egoistically motivated, but basically motivated by love, by the desire for harmony and peace for all living beings, then those intents, they have power. And the more people do that, the more it's being helped that something can change towards the good.
Nice. So really the place from which the intent comes from is important to not.
Yes, right.
Yeah. And then you just mentioned about, you differentiated I guess a selfish intent as opposed to a more global intent. How can we bring awareness on where on that line this is?
I mean, you can have that intent for your personal life, and it's not an egoistic contracting intent. if you are intending that you're more and more happy, if you are more and more at ease, at peace, that you are more and more in harmony, then that has a perfectly good effect on your story, and also it's the best for everybody else. But if you are then I mean, many people do that with visualizations and intents, and then I want this, and now I want a big car, and now I want a girlfriend, and now I want this and that. And we are getting all focused on that. Then if that intent is strong enough, eventually it will manifest. But usually we brought so many things into movement that come along with it, that after that we are not very happy about those.
Right. So it's pretty much the saying of careful what you wish for.
Yes. It may
So
happen.
right. So even though this potential for, I guess, manifesting or having, bringing to realization or intent is there, it's something very careful to play with or to do. And like you said, the most important is actually is the step of being here now and content and not resisting this.
Yes. First, deal with your present experience, and not with the idea it shouldn't be like this, but accept, okay, it is as it is, even if it's not to my liking, even if it seems to be dark, even if it seems to be hopeless. Okay, it's not hopeless, but it is as it is. Deal with that in a creative way. That's already the best you can do for future events. But if on top of that you consciously want to put an intent into it, you can do so. But let that intent be expansive, that it is not me, I as a person want something good, and to hell with everybody else, I don't care. But that your personal growth, your personal unfolding is automatically also in harmony with what it's radiating, and for the good of the common, of the collective. The two are not opposites, except if our intent is selfish. That creates more a sense of separation. But if the intent is in such a way that actually it's rather weakening that sense of being separate, then that even personal appearing intent is very constructive and totally okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And because I also see that I can see in me probably there's also the habit of just always wanting more or change. And so even if things are not bad now, that there's like a habit energy of like what's next. And actually a good friend of mine shared a practice he's doing from recently, that he just asked himself the question, what is perfect right now? So in a way, training more of a habit of recognizing what is good now, rather than, and weakening the habit of looking for something good in the future.
Right. For that happiness, that sense of fulfillment that we are looking for by hoping it's getting better, it is already here. It is not found in the circumstances, it comes out of your own self. And you can contact this, you can dive into this now. So without changing the circumstances. At the same time, we are playing the game, being appearing in a human form in a world. We can also bring something positive, creative into it, but not because I have to do that in order of that after that I feel fulfilled. That sense of fulfillment is already there. It need not be created or found somewhere. We simply have to become aware it's there and not obstructed.
Yeah. So in a way, we know it's a good intention when we actually don't really care if it happens or not.
Right.
I mean,
Not
kind of, no, or like,
no obsession about it. Just
yeah,
as an expression of your inner beauty that you pour out in the stream, the wish that there is more peace and more love and more harmony, that is certainly beautiful.
yes. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Wish you well.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else who would like to come in? You're welcome. I see a camera on. Who is that?
Hello, Werner. Can you hear me? Audible?
Ah, it's because I saw you and I heard you for a moment, but now I neither see you nor hear you.
I think my internet is not stable, and that is why I'm not able to connect properly.
But I
Can
hear you now.
Okay, okay. So I went to Amma's ashram.
Oh,
2-3
nice.
weeks back. Yeah. And so my problem is strange. My problem right now is I'm doing my practices, and I feel like my sexual desires are going. I feel everything is happening properly, everything is good. So sometimes I feel that will my desires completely vanish? If it vanishes, then what will I look for? So all kinds of desires. I feel like not doing anything. Like I go for my sports and everything. I do my normal routine, but I don't have any desire to go for a movie or that kind of. I feel like my desires. That is the thing. Is it correct or is it?
Unfortunately, I hope you can hear me. Unfortunately, there were a few glitches, but I get the drift of your question. Basically, you wonder, now you feel your desires are diminishing, and maybe if they disappear, then what's left? What is driving me?
Yes.
My
Yes.
driving force in my life. Don't worry, there will always be the desires for happiness. And if that desire is pure, it will bring you right back to yourself. As long as we are attaching that desire for happiness to so many things, then our attention gets scattered all over the place. We are running left and right and doing so many things and hoping to get happy. And momentarily we do get happy, but then we always invoking a lot of stuff that makes us unhappy. But if your desire for truth, for reality, for pure happiness, which is your birthright, is there, then that will not at all make you dead if you're losing the desires for so many things that you had. It's a bit of fear that after that my life becomes gray, lifeless, that you are being dead if you are not having all these desires driving you. But if you become aware that all that I have been looking for, all that sense of fulfillment and happiness is already here, is in myself, that I am the source of my happiness. The more you dive into it, the more your life will be full and radiant and creative and beautiful. We don't have to hold on to all these desires in order to exist. But then still, sometimes a desire pops up in your day-to-day life, and it goes in the current, and it may get fulfilled, it may not get fulfilled, but you are not making your well-being dependent on that. You are aware that my happiness is not dependent of fulfilling desires. And the more you are aware of that, the more you are free of desires, but still desires will spring up in our day-to-day life. Harmless desires like now I'm hungry, so I'm desiring to eat something. Then you solve it by eating something. I mean, as long as you appear in a body, in a human form, all these desires, they spring up. And if you are not making your well-being dependent on it, there is no problem. It's not that we have to be there careful that no desires ever come up. Simply don't get obsessed with it and think, I need it, I need it, I need it in order to be happy. I need it in order to be fulfilled. As long as we feel like that, then we are slaves of the desires. But if we are aware, I am the source of my happiness. That happiness I'm looking for comes out of myself. That sense of fulfillment is already there if I'm not obstructing it. Then these desires that spring up in course of the daily life, they are harmless and innocent.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank you for your answer.
You are welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. It's often said in some traditions, we have to somehow get rid of all the desires in order to have a chance to become self-aware, to get enlightened, whatever they call it. But we don't have to become stones. The stone, I guess, also doesn't have any desire, but remains a stone. Consciousness manifest in a human form is very dynamic, very creative, very active, likes to express itself. And so desires is a natural thing that appears. But what we have, where it went wrong, is that we bought that ID while growing up in this world, because it has been hammered in us and gets stronger and stronger while growing up, that you can be happy in this world. But then along with it comes all that string of what you need to be happy. And this is being fed into the mind that we believe it unquestionably. I have to achieve this, I have to achieve that. And everyone has their own list of things that should be there in order to be happy. And as long as we are believing that, then we are always running round and round in circle, fulfilling a desire, theme, a moment. Oh yes, I'm happy, it functions, and it's going again. Because even then, when we are fulfilling a desire, that happiness that we are experiencing is not coming from the circumstances, is not coming from an object. The circumstances simply allow that person for a moment to let go, to relax. Not to keep in the mind, it should be different, but an idea was there, the idea is manifesting, there is that sense of fulfillment, and one relaxes. And in that letting go, in that relaxation, that natural happiness that is there all the time has a chance to come to the surface and manifest, at least to some extent. The happiness is not coming from the circumstances. And the more we become aware of that, the more we become aware, I am the source of my happiness. I am the source of my fulfillment. And then the obsession with desires even if it's a strong habit, gradually disappears. If the habit is strong, still the momentum is there, the obsession may be there still for some time, but the more that awareness comes and the more that the experience grows, the happiness comes out of my own self. The fulfillment is not found there, it's coming out of my own self. The more those habits are losing their power and the desires are not more obsessions that I think I need in order to be happy, then some desires spring up. One fulfills them and it's fine. And one cannot fulfill them and it's also fine. It doesn't make me unhappy because of that. And then the desires are not the problem. It's not that we have to desperately look, is there another desire? I have to stamp it, I have to kill it, I have to wipe it out, that there is no desire left. Just don't believe that the fulfillment of desires is what is needed in order to be natural, to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be in tune with yourself. And then we can relax in that, and then the experience of that starts to unfold without running after desires and their fulfillment. And in course of the daily life, naturally some desires spring up and we either fulfill them or fulfill them not, but they are not the problem. So it's not like some people think. We have to somehow carefully stamp out every desire, otherwise there is no chance to be consciously conscious, to be consciously yourself, to be in your natural state. As long as consciousness manifests in a human form, some desires spring up just for the sheer survival in this form. And if you are not getting obsessed with it, there are no obstructions. Okay, I'm asking you, my friends, does anybody like to talk? There is Andreas again.
Hello. In Buddhism, they say it's not the desire that is the problem, it's the clinging to the desire, the attachment.
Right.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Basically, it's saying what I just said. Right. It's not the desire itself, but the, the clinging to this desire, because we do what I said before. When we have a desire and we cling to that desire, more or less, sometimes with desperation. Why? Because I think I need this or that in order to be at ease and peace, in order to be happy, in order to be fulfilled. And as long as we are holding on to that idea, that is clinging to the desire. And if we let go of that, then the desire in itself is not an obstruction, because, okay, it's there, a wave, it doesn't grow and create troubles. It's there, and maybe it's getting fulfilled, maybe it's not getting fulfilled. But that the illusion is not there. I need it in order to find myself fulfilled.
Does that come with a sense of equanimity?
Yes, they come together. The more you are detached from all that, the more there comes a natural equanimity. We can remind ourselves, hey, don't be so agitated, come back to that natural equanimity, but we cannot really artificially do it. We remove the obstacles that prevent us, and more it's manifesting by itself. That capacity to be relaxed even in unfavorable situations.
Yeah, this comes back to one of my meditation problems, but I asked you a lot of times already about it. It's like if I open the eyes a little bit, and then I'm getting more centered in the moment, and if I close them, there's this sense of happiness coming, but I'm getting more into my thoughts. And recently, I think I should much more stay with the simple feelings of presence and not so much go into that where I feel more happy when I close my eyes, but my thinking goes on and on and on. And in the back, there is a feeling of happiness and a feeling of concentration, but it's not so much the presence is stronger when I'm open my eyes a little bit and just focus on my lips and my breathing, and then it's that is simpler and yeah, goes more into the direction of equanimity. I'm tending now to think I should do a little bit more that and not so much be, but I really like the happiness that comes with the closed eyes. And it's sometimes then there's an expansion felt that I'm like, everything is open up. And this is not coming when the eyes are open.
But at the same time, you say your thoughts are increasing. Then that means along with that happiness, you are dreaming away happy dreams. Right.
Yeah, this is sometimes very happening in the Ramana ashram. I'm sitting in the small meditation room and have a big grin on my face, but I'm totally lost in my thoughts.
Yeah, right. So, right, it's good to bring yourself back. We can, of course, after having meditated for quite some time, for years, and then feeling also relatively comfortable to sit without being much in pain about it, then we can get into the habit of just dreaming away. It's a pleasant state, but you are then sort of getting stuck there. Then you are a bit in a cloud, and it's nice. And after that, you can have the feeling, I had a nice meditation, but actually you had a nice dream. And you don't have to sort of try to think, you don't have to think that you should not feel happiness in your meditation, but don't make it in your main objective. Be here now, relax, at ease, at peace, and then that sense of happiness will gradually increase all by itself without losing that sense of presence.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
so maybe not bad for you that you just alternate. That for some time you open a little the eyes just to help you to bring the attention in the present, and then you try to close again and just relax and remain in the present. And then you feel, there slowly I'm slipping off again, then you open a little. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, I'm still, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm still experimenting with it, and I'm not so clear which is, but like my feeling is that I should go more to the simple and just present and not so much, and just wait what happens then if I stay, because after a while I always close the eyes again, and then the happiness comes more, and then yeah, maybe I should try to stay longer with the simplicity.
Make that a priority.
Okay.
Right. That is certainly good advice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? You're welcome to do so. Everybody wants to be happy. Why? Because it is natural. If you are unhappy, then it's nagging and nagging, because deep down we know in our natural state there is pure happiness. So naturally, everybody wants to be happy. But then We can create that sense of happiness momentarily through all kinds of things. But it's a momentary imitation. It can be with objects outside, it can be doing this, doing that with certain activities, or then, like Andreas just described, even in meditation, we can create it. That sense of happiness, but it's a temporary happiness, what he described. It's not that we somehow have to try to figure out how to stay into that space all the time. It's still a momentary experience. Basically, nothing wrong with it, but it's good not to get stuck in such places. Not to become a bliss bunny wanting mean always somehow desperately try to produce bliss. It's good to be aware, basically, here now. And then compared to the other experience, it may look a bit dry, but it looks a bit dry as long as it needs a mental effort, because the habit is always pushing us away, pulling us away. But if we can learn to be in that present awareness, then we learn to relax in it. And then more and more become aware that this is everything else but right. It's actually only here, now, that timelessness of the present where we are touching reality. And reality is full with bubbling beauty and joyousness. It's not something that we have to produce somehow with some practices or with some external objects or in one way or another. By learning to be in touch with that, learning to bring the attention again and again and again back to now, to the timelessness, and learn to relax. The more we are capable to relax in it, the more that sense of joyousness starts to bubble up, but not necessarily as a jumping ecstasy, more a sense of a peaceful joyousness. But as we go on, as the experience becomes clearer, as the experience becomes stronger, that intensity of the joyousness that is simply there because of being aware of being is increasing all the time. It's expanding all the time, and there's no end to it. And then we lose that idea that I have to do this, I have to do that in order to bring this about. Nothing wrong externally doing things that we like to do if they are possible. If somebody likes to go and be happy by walking in nature, then by all means go and do so. But then being in the circumstances one likes, we can continue to be in the present. And then the favorable circumstance helps us to relax and we go deeper and become more aware that happiness that everybody is looking for, consciously or unconsciously, that happiness is always there. It's waiting to be discovered. We don't have to produce it. We don't have to produce ecstasies. Sometimes ecstasies may happen. When we practice in course of the process, suddenly you may have an ecstatic experience. Nothing wrong. It comes, it's there, it goes. It's an experience, it has a peak, and it disappears. But underneath there is that peaceful joyousness, never absent, but often, most of the time, totally overlooked. By learning to bring the attention to the present, even if from the mental perspective first it looks a bit dry. It's worth the trouble and to do that again and again until it becomes natural and we can learn to relax more and more in it. And the more that relaxing aspect comes in consciously connecting, the more we become aware, all that sense of fulfillment, that happiness I have been looking for is already here. We don't have to produce it. We just have to learn not to prevent it to come to the surface and be experienced. There is no end to it. It can continuously increase in intensity. Again, I'm asking, is there anyone who would like to talk? You're welcome. Okay, it seems not to be the case. So let's just together for a few minutes do exactly that. That we benefit from the energetic connection that we have created in this space. That we help each other to simply consciously be. So ideally sit somewhere comfortably, if you can, rather upright, but it is not an absolute necessity. Look what's going on in the mind. And just don't get interested in all these thoughts that come and go. But bring the attention back home to that sense of presence. That sense that I'm touching when I say I. That sense that is always there prior to any thought, that I don't know to define, and yet it's the most familiar because it's my first expression in manifestation. The base out of which this experience grows. Just gently breathe consciously. Breathe and relax. Relax the body. Relax the legs and the feet. Relax the shoulders, the arms. Relax the whole rest of the body. Just be. Here, now. Not dreaming away to other places, to other scenarios. If those thoughts come, you see the thoughts, you don't fight with them, you just don't get interested. Turn the attention back to the immediate sense of presence. And relax. And relax. Be consciously here now and relax. And again, when thoughts spring up, I see them. Just don't get interested. Okay, these thoughts are there. They come, they go, but I am here, timelessly, now. Intensely alert, but yet relaxed. If the tendency comes to slip away with the thoughts, simply redirect it to consciously, relaxedly breathe in, breathe out. Alert and relaxed. Then we can consciously let the vital force flood the body again a bit more and still stay connected. And after that we'll get up, we walk out doing whatever we have to do, and still we can stay connected consciously with that sense of presence, that sense that we are touching. And we say, I, without a thought, without an explanation. It's always in us. Let's just leave from that perspective. I wish you all well. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.